Hello to all. My name is Ilona Alhalwa, and I am representative of organization mission Reconnect here on that side. And this is like one of our dissemination activities, part of the project partnership and project making event, which was called Idea Lab. It took place in July 2022, just like before a few weeks, we finished it, the activity itself. And now we are in the phase when we are like doing like two main things. We are trying to share information about the event and about the Erasmus program, because it was supported by the Czech National Agency and the Erasmus program. And we are also trying to support the participants, which were coming from different countries representing, for example, Caucasus, Western Balkan, and EU countries in the process of development of new project ideas. And one of the activities which we decided to do is that we are doing these short like videos when we are kind of sharing information which we were normally would be sharing like during this session about Erasmus Plus project. Now, I already said like last time, there are a lot of information about Erasmus Plus online. So it is there. And what we are just trying to do in our case is to a little bit put our perspective and more to kind of put on one place for our participants, which are now also preparing their project ideas. Today, the topic will be about youth exchange. And I would like to show you like some practical steps which leads to the application. So it is more, let's say, understandable, especially if you are like a newcomer and you are still wondering what's going on. Now, if you are now thinking, okay, somewhere here, the deadline is 4th of October, and now I need to prepare my youth exchange, what to do. So firstly, I will also use my share screen to tell you that I would much more like recommend you to open the Erasmus Plus guide, which is the key kind of guideline for the program on the page 136. So you can go through the key information regarding youth exchanges. Why this guide is so much important? Because it really gives you this core information. And it will help you to answer the questions which they will be asking in the application forms. So let's say homework number 1 before filling the application form, please do check this information. I will now also like review them. Where is like explain, for example, the objectives of the actions. So it means like what the youth exchanges should be meeting, which is very important. Because like, yeah, you can have a youth exchange about any kind of topic, but it's very important that it meets certain objectives. After, it's also introducing the policy context of it, the action, and it also like kind of explain the question, what is youth exchange? If you were already participating, you know that youth exchange is an activity when a group of young people from different countries meet up and they spend time together by doing some stuff. Yeah, that was a very, very general description, but basically it is. In my past years, when I was also involved in youth exchanges, for example, we did youth exchange on the topic of dance, when people from 6 countries came together, and first they were like teaching each other national dances, and after they were like working on one performance. Another youth exchange was, for example, in a national park, when people came together. They learn about like ecology, environment, but also very practically they were repairing the paths which are going to the park. The youth exchanges can be really very different. Nevertheless, what is very important in the youth exchanges is this peer-to-peer learning. It means that young people are learning from young people, and that also the young people should be really involved in the youth exchange. The idea should be like, let's say, right by you, like a young people. It should be not, let's say now, which we are older to kind of doing it, because I think that the youth exchange is very good learning experience going through all the steps. So in the guide, it describes what is this youth exchange, what kind of like setting up, like what kind of steps you need to take if you do the project. And also what is very important, it's put it like the priorities, we talked about them the last time. It means regarding environmental sustainability, digital transition, and inclusion. And now I would like to really ask you to pay attention to this table. It means that if you will check out this table and you will follow the key points, you will really know that you didn't make any technical mistakes. The applications can be greatly written or can be good, but you need to be really aware to don't make some technical mistakes regarding, for example, what country can participate in youth exchange or how many participants you can have a per youth exchange. And of course, very important is to don't miss the deadline. How I was saying, it's like the first, 4th of October. And also to be aware, for example, how long can be the exchanges, how many participants per country the youth exchange can have. So please do check this table because it will really help you to don't make technical mistake. What is also very important is that youth exchange, we have included the young people like a participant. Nevertheless, there is also very common term, which is group leaders. It means someone with experiences who will be guiding them in the process, I'd say assisting them and helping them. In many cases, group leader is really more experienced person, which knows more about the topic, has some experiences with Erasmus Plus, and can really be support for someone, because that's now very important. Youth exchange should be really, I would say now for young people, which for example never ever were before even abroad, and they really everything for them is new. To use English, like a communicative English, to work with people from different countries. Now, like in this new program from 2021, also in youth exchanges can be included facilitators. And if you include people with specific needs, they can have also accompanying persons. It means like a person which is helping other young person which needs it. Please do check all these rules about how many people, how many participants you can have. Last but not least, I would also encourage you to check out this kind of criteria, how the youth exchanges can be evaluated, because it can give you a really good guideline what you should not miss in your application. And you will understand that when you read this part of the guide, and after you will open the application form, everything is connected. It means that here is explained that, for example, the project needs to be relevant regarding the objectives of the action. And first question of the application is how the project is meeting the objectives of the action. So all is linked together. Yeah, so really check it out. That would be tip regarding the Erasmus Plus guide. And now another thing, before applying, starting the application process, we already discussed about it, you need that your organization or group of young people needs, which is called something like OID, organization identification. It means that you go online and you register. Now it can again look very much maybe confusing. So I will also just show the page when you can go online and register the organization. And the link will be shared in the materials around, below this video. So here, firstly, I forget to say that you can also check if maybe your organization is not already registered. It may happen, maybe you don't know about it, maybe people change. So please first check it out. And after, you can read why do you need to do it and how to do it. And the system will guide you. It's not nothing complicated. In the system, you will just need to put the name when the organization was established, and also upload the document that the organization is legally established, registered in different, let's say, registers, depending on the countries. And also there is a document which is called a financial identification form, which is after confirming that your organization has a bank account. All this you will find here on this main website. So imagine that now you know that you want to make a youth exchange, you know all the rules, your organization is registered, and you also are ready, you have the idea. So what next? Next, you need to kind of log in this main system. I will now also do it. And let me show you how it will after look like. And just give me a second. I'm just now waiting until it opens. So I am in. So you log in by using your profile, and here you click on my opportunities. Opportunities. You choose Erasmus Pass if it's about youth exchange. And now you are inside in the system when you can see all the open calls. If you plan to apply for youth exchange in October for you, this is important youth, click on the open calls, and now you are in, and you choose the right application form. Please again be careful because there are more application forms available. So in case of youth exchange, is it mobility of young people, KA152. You click apply. And in this way, I had already created draft inside, but for you, it will open new. You are inside in the system with all the questions. And this is the system through which you apply your project. Personally, when I do work on Erasmus Plus application, I would recommend that what I do, that I copy the questions to the Word document. I work with the partners in the Word, and after I look in here and I pass the answers. For me, it works better because I found this online environment a little bit unfriendly if I need to spend here a few hours. Now I will kind of go by part to always point out some of the parts of the online application system and to maybe share what also share what we are doing. The beginning is very simple. So yeah, maybe before I will continue, I really would recommend that in youth exchange, you really include the target group. It means like the youngsters, or you are the young people which are doing it. I think in this way, it's the only way how we can make sure that the youth exchange is fitting the needs and the interests of the young people. And if you are a young person, you will after have the opportunity to explain your idea. On this first page, you see the kind of technicalities. It means that, of course, you need to have the name for your youth exchange. Here, the project duration, how long. It means not, for example, you have an idea to make youth exchange for 6 days, but here is not the 6 days of the activity. It means all the process. From the moment when you are informed that your youth exchange was approved until the moment when you send the final report. Please make there some reserve. I would really recommend to do it even, for example, 8 to 10 months, because it will give you enough time to prepare with your group for the activity, after collect the information, submit the final report. Especially if you are a newcomers, please let yourself time. What I'm now referring is that the youth exchange has these days when people are meeting, they are working together. But project itself also includes the activities like gathering the travel tickets, making the travel reimbursement, dealing with administration. So if you let yourself just very few months, it will be after very hard to finish it on time. Already here is written when the project can start, because that's the date given. And please just be sure that you are applying to the correct national agency. Now, you cannot do it yourself. Any application in youth exchange cannot be just done by you. You always need to have at least your organization and some partner. Now you already see that it asks for the organization ID. It means that your partner also needs to have the organization ID. Without it, you cannot enter the information into the system and you cannot continue. Please do it as soon as possible. Let's say, make sure that the partners have this OID register. Why? When you will be entering the information about the partners in the system, I will now jump through the application to the technicalities. It's very important because each partner needs to sign a document which is called mandate. And just when you include the information about the organization, you can after download the mandate and send them for signing it. So it's connected. So you put your organization, the partner organizations. Of course, you can have more than 2. And now it opens like questions one by one. And how I was saying, like it always refers to the guide. So the first question is about like the explanation why you want to do it, what will be meeting with how it will meet the objectives and the priorities. And after, you have a few questions regarding the impact. The impact on different levels, it means on personally on the young people, the community, the international level. And after, for example, here I just like select some priorities, that for example, digital content, new learning technologies. It's basically, sorry, I made a mistake, it's the topics. So you can, for example, choose creativity and arts and culture. Basically the topics, how you would describe your youth exchange. The project details, you will kind of like go in to the details of the activity. It opens like another questions. So again, the activity title, like just to explain like why also these details about activity. You may have one project where it's like one youth exchange, one activity. But you may have a project where you, for example, will organize youth exchange. And before the youth exchange, you will organize so-called preparatory visit. In the old program, it was also being referred like a APV, advanced planning visits, which gives you opportunity to meet with the partners, like representative of the participating organization before and agree. Okay, you can also have like 2 youth exchanges in one application. It means that in this application, you need to put all the activities for which you want to apply under this application. It can be 1, it can be 2. Here, when you go inside, after it's about this, let's say 6-7 days. So the start date and end date. It's very after it's like also here you put like how many people, how many facilitators. And here you are explaining more detailed information about what kind of people will come, like what are the backgrounds, how they will be involved, what they will learn. Also what exactly you will do in the youth exchange, like what kind of methods and tools you will use, how the groups will be working together. And also there is the question if you foresee like some virtual component. It means that, for example, you can also plan some online activity. When I'm thinking about these questions, to give you maybe some tips, like what I am doing practically, especially when I'm answering this question about learning outcomes, I do refer to Youth Pass. If you are not knowing what is Youth Pass, I will now also like show the website and share the link with you. Youth Pass, it is a like tool of recognition of learning during like in the projects which are supported by Erasmus Programme. And Youth Pass has a certain competencies. Now we see like the side. And what is helping me a lot when I am answering the questions, what the participants will learn, I work more on trainings and the action is that I go to the Youth Pass and I check out the competencies of the Youth Pass. And after I am using them like a framework. Here you can find after on the website what are the competencies. For example, it is a communication, multilingual skills, digital skills, citizenship, entrepreneurship. And I after take the Youth Pass and always refer how participants can develop certain competencies there. When you are answering on these questions, like I would say be realistic and just describe it also by using your words and make it clear. I think that the most important is to be clear with the answers. Now we are going to the other parts. Here after, when you put the information about the people, it will give you budget summary. When people ask about budget, the good thing in Erasmus is that you don't really count here because everything is automatic. So it gives you this like final amounts based on the number of participants and number of nights. And here it would be like other activity. Now we continue because they want to know like how you will prepare the participants, how you will take care that they will be safe, how the participants will follow up. And here I think like personally, I also see like very sometimes challenging like that we put a lot of stress on the preparation of the activity, on the preparation of the youth exchange, training, study visits. But when it comes to the follow-up, I think it's really challenging, or maybe it's like more like a difficult to really like follow up. It means to organize some events in the local communities, to give people information what we did, or like this is also like this online recording itself is like or follow up on the activity. So don't underestimate the follow up part as well. Recognition of learning outcomes. I show you Youth Pass. So here is it, like the info where you need to answer how you will work with it and how you will support people like learning process. I think that it may be very challenging to think about your youth exchange in case that you've never been before on youth exchanges. And I would really recommend maybe like a one practical tip, go on youth exchange before you will hide your youth exchange. Because after it's much more easier to understand like what basically the application wants from you. Now let's come back because the big part after is also about people with fewer opportunities. It can be young people which are facing like economic barriers, cultural differences, they have health issues, geographical barriers. For example, they are coming from rural areas. You really need to just choose and explain how you will support them. Now you already know that one of the priorities of Erasmus Plus is being environmentally friendly and sustainable. And it's preferable that all the actions are like having this on mind. And in this part, you can like after describe how your project will be more environmentally friendly and sustainable. It's, for example, about referring to so-called Green Erasmus, which is supporting that participants will be not using planes, but they will be coming by buses and trains. For this, they can after also have a little bit bigger travel budget. Another part is project management. This is like really how you will work with the partners, how you will manage the project, because the project is also about a lot of practicalities. For example, finding the place when people will sleep, arranging what they will eat. I know that it sounds like very kind of basic, but believe me, like sometimes in some countries, even like we recently did this project in July, and some people have a specific meal requirements, like vegans, vegetarians, they have allergies, for example, they need it gluten-free, which sounds very easy until you don't need to explain the kitchen that like, yeah, what can vegan eat and what the vegetarian eat. And of course, I'm now just referring to something what is maybe not so much challenging, but people can also have a very specific diets. We had, for example, participant with a very specific diet in March, and we needed to meet with him to understand, for example, what he is able to eat, that we can kind of meet his expectations or meet his diet. And communication with the partners and cooperation is also a very important part of the project. And also I would like focus on this question, which are the actors you will involve? I think that what we also maybe face like a challenge, especially like we have a small organization, is how to cooperate more with different actors, like stakeholders on the local level or international level, how to really make people aware that we do have such a project, what the Erasmus Plus is. So now we are also trying to have some practice that we are inviting maybe guest speakers to our project, For example, in March, when we did our project on media, we invited representative of other organization, which was called Fakescape, which shared with us information how they fight fake news. And currently in our project, which will take place next weekend, we will have, for example, a mixed group, and it will be young people, youth workers, and teachers. And after, with one of the schools, which is in Prešerov, like one small Czech city, we, for example, will be also cooperating in the upcoming Erasmus days. So we really try to look for ways how we can include the different actors, like from the community. So we make, like, let's say, our activity more visible, and we have a after network around us. Now we are coming to the end, if you are wondering, but still there are like important questions about evaluation, how you will evaluate the project, how you will sustain on the project. It means that you will build on the experience, you will continue the cooperation. And if it's about dissemination of project results and making it visible, the project is how you will share, let's say, I would make it like an equal dissemination, equal sharing, the lessons learned with bigger groups of people. Like you can organize events, you can go online on social media, you can do other stuff, but it's very important what we are trying to do. To don't stay in the middle, like just in some working room, in some hotel, but to go out and talk about the project and about the experiences. And in the exchange and in other action, it's also very important how the young people who are participating will be involved. After, we have a project summary, which is summing up all the most important parts. Project budget, which will be after summarized for you once you put the information. And now just also one of the questions you will see, it's about Erasmus Youth Quality Standards. And you can after check it out inside of this application form that there is written what are the standards. So just giving the tips, you have no idea what is it, here is the answer. And annexes, I already introduced one of the annex. That's a download like mandates. The mandate is one of the annex. And after, the applicant, the organization which is applying, needs also some document which is called Declaration of Honor. And last but not least, what is very important, you need to also fill in timetable of activities. I will now do it just to show you what I'm referring to. It's not, like, say, just about opening, about filling in all the parts, but it's also about like writing what you will do with the people day by day. So here you need to really fill in information that, for example, on day 1, you will do getting to know each other activities, what is the common practice. After, you will be exploring the topics, and step by step, you will go to the end. So this is also something very important, which is, it's important to have on mind that especially with your partners and young people, I think they should be really included in the decision, what we will do on day 3, what we will do on day 5. So after, you have like applications which are really done for young people and by young people. So the teacher annexes, you have to upload them in the system. And last but not least, without checking the boxes, you cannot press the button. So after, you also need to like check the boxes. Practically, it can also work that you can share this application with someone and you can work online. Nevertheless, honestly speaking, I find it last deadline, which was in spring, quite difficult because sometimes the system was not really, according to me, working very well. So we more work like in the work share document. And after, when you submit it, you will see your submission history. So this is all the questions, this is the system, how it looks like inside, and did you need to fill. And there are also this all necessary like attachments and parts of the application. Now also what I would like to add, that on YouTube itself, you can after find much more other materials explaining how your exchange can look like, how you can establish the activity program, or what means dissemination. We will share with you all these materials in the comments under this video, so you can read them, check them, and use them. Nevertheless, if I should somehow sum up, like how to prepare good application for youth exchange, is that it should be really like done by young people. Nevertheless, now when we are working in high school, I think that the application itself is very hard to be filled in by young people. Of course, that they have very good ideas, they know how to structure it, but the application is kind of wrong. And it's not very, I would say maybe even say like very youth friendly, describe like, and use the words like a competence and others. So in this case, for example, in my organization, we are kind of trying to provide some guidance for the young people, so they are feeling more comfortable to work on it. So young people involvement. Second, like please check the program guide and other materials. It will really give you good ideas how to put it all together. And third, don't start just slowly before the deadline, which is 4th of October. The last few deadlines, even like a technical things, for example, the database, the online platform stopped to work. So after it was really impossible to submit the projects or to copy the information from the Word documents to the online system. So one practical tip, start to work on it earlier. And I know that some of the national agencies are even offering that consultation in a sense that when you have your idea, you can send it to them and they can help you and maybe point out places which should be approved or add some information. So last tip, please check out your national agency and also what kind of help they can provide you. And I'm wishing you good luck with your application. If you have any questions, you can also follow this other, like then we have 2 more videos. And you can also like comment on the post and we will try to answer based on our experiences. Thank you. And yeah, and when you will be submitting the application, good luck with it.